into the AVID product environment for AVID to drive not only the products going forward, but the business overall as a whole.
A lot of good conversations and good dialogue about what should be important, what should AVID focus on.
I made some really great connections here. The people, the contacts, and information. Great show.
Frankly, I always find it exciting. The AVID Connect and the AVID Customer Association are standouts. And I think what the management of AVID has been able to do is enlist the aid of its customers to transform its company.
Approximately 65 edit suites. I mean, I'm able to integrate all these different products, and it seems AVID's been there. They've supported me all the way.
When you get all the quality and the flexibility that you get with something like Pro Tools, you can take your mixes to other places and have infinite possibilities anywhere, right away, on the fly. And that's the beauty of it. It's the only one that has a reputation you can trust.
I think I realized the major quantum leap that AVID represents. It revolutionized the process of editing and post. And AVID evolves according to our needs as filmmakers. We set the requirements and AVID responds.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom. This is Jeff. And somewhere not too far away, we have our friend Gil. We want to show you Pro Tools 12.5 Cloud Collaboration in action. You know, Pro Tools is the industry standard in all audio production, whether it's Emmy winners, Grammy winners, and Oscar winners. They are using Pro Tools year in and year out. And it really is the foundation of modern recording, editing, processing, mixing, and delivery. You know, more and more today, people need to be mobile. They need to connect and collaborate remotely in order to handle the work that's out there. The sessions continue to grow in size while the budgets and the schedule continue to shrink. So we're going to kind of take you through the production of a commercial, a really cool LeBron James Nike shoe commercial. Jeff and I are going to show you what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working in 5.1. And we have, as Tom said, this Nike spot. We want to work, we want to build it up. We don't have a lot of time, so we're going to use the power of AVID Cloud Collaboration to really kind of divvy up the tasks. I'm going to work on some of the sound design and effects. Tom's going to work on some additional effects and backgrounds. And our friend Gil is actually going to be crafting the music tracks. And by leveraging cloud, we can actually all be working in parallel. So we're going to actually flip over to the artist chat window in Pro Tools 12.5. And this is where you can connect with people that you've already worked with before on projects, or maybe find some new folks as well. I've created a project called Nike Tunnel Wednesday. And both Tom and Gil are part of this project, and as such, they actually get all of my starting tracks. I've shared, you can see in blue right here, all these tracks in the project with them. So we can all be on the same page and actually have the starting media to start working from. So let's just reach out and say greetings to Gil, see if he's around, or greetings. Hey, hey. How about we actually do a face-to-face, maybe do a Skype and chat about the requirements for the music tracks. Hey Gil, are you around?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're pretty good here. So thank you for accepting my invitation to work on this project. The stuff you've done in the past for us has been fantastic. So I guess what we're really looking for is just really kind of subtle strings, pads, ambience, textures, all kind of building up to the point where, if you saw in the picture, where he kind of impacts the pavement.
Okay, yeah, I've got the project with the tracks downloaded. Let me play with a couple of different ideas here real quick, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you some tracks, send them up to the cloud, and let you know when they're ready for you to check out.
That sounds great.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Okay, so Gil is on his way with our temporary tracks to start working on the music. I'm actually going to be responsible for doing sound design. And if you take a look at the picture, there's some really cool things in here where, for example, the shoe is kind of building itself. There's some nice CG elements where the shoe is kind of, all these pieces are flying together. So we need to do the design for the shoe. So I pulled some sound effects out that I thought would be interesting as a starting place to kind of organically start manipulating that. Here's one of them. What is that? So that's pretty wild, right? It's like a leather jacket being manipulated, twisted, and wrung. And so I thought, you know what, leather, let's start there, let's see where we can go from there. So in Pro Tools, obviously we've got tremendous capabilities. You can see picture when you do basic types of edits. Now you can even see the ghosted outline of the waveform, which is great if you're trying to line things up visually, like guides and dubs, obviously real-time fades. Tremendous amount of capabilities under the hood. So what we want to do is actually leverage some of our third-party connectivity partners, like for example, Eventide makes amazing signal processing tools to do pitch shifting, modulation, those types of things, as well as maybe some real-time sends to reverbs and subharmonic generators and things like that. So let's just take a listen to some ideas that I've thrown out here that I think might be interesting. So here we go. Okay, there's the first step. The second step, right? And a little bit of rubber. Here's the third one. Okay, so that's the start. It's the first layer, right? We're going to kind of approach this in layers. So below that, we have a track which is called magnets. And it is just that. The idea here is, if you take a look at the picture again, these things are kind of flying into the shoe. I thought it'd be cool if they were like magnetically attracted to the shoe. So I threw a magnet in here. Right? So what if we have more pieces that are coming in? What do we do about that? Well, pretty straightforward. I'm actually just going to copy the first magnet idea and copy it to the next one, but here's the deal. I don't want these all to sound exactly the same, and that's what it's going to do. So I've actually leveraged a tool in Pro Tools called Elastic Audio. This is pretty cool. I've got the track in a Verispeed mode, whereby if I stretch this clip, it's actually going to pitch shift that down and change the tonality of that individual piece. Right? So we can vary the weight and the pitch of each individual piece that's kind of flying in to that track to really kind of make it a little bit more interesting. So let's actually go forward here and take a look at the picture downstream when you can actually see some laces happening on top of the shoe. Okay, so got laces coming in, great. I looked at my sound effects library, nothing was really knocking me over that I auditioned. So I said, you know what? We have Pro Tools HDX, we have Pro Tools, which is outstanding. I'm going to do the record, the edit, the cut, processing all in the box, and that's what I did. I did the recording, recorded all the Foley, and cut it up, did some processing using our connectivity partners, and obviously doing it yourself, you're always going to have more organic, original sounding elements, and this is kind of what I came up with. Okay, so we got pieces coming together. We got some leather, we got some magnets, we got some plastic. Let me play a little bit of the plastic ideas that I've kind of thrown in here. And pieces are starting to come together. Okay, and ultimately we have some impact. So we're starting to build everything up. What we need to do now is share everything that I've done with the people that I'm working with. And to do that, it's actually quite simple. I can come up to this little collaboration toolbar, and this is basically send all changes. And I can click on that, and open up the task window, and you can see now all the tweaks that I just made are being pushed up to the cloud so that both Tom and Gil have access to everything that I've done. He can actually start working on some additional sound effect elements.
Yeah, cool. I think you did a great job, Jeff. So Jeff was really focused on the CG of the shoe building, and I thought it'd be cool if I could work on the shoe, the footsteps as it hits the ground. Now, before I do that, I could be down the hall or 1,000 miles away. I want to give Jeff's changes. So you can see I have 3 green arrows on those tracks that he's previously shared. So let's download the updates. So basically there's the leather change, here's the magnets change, and the laces. So almost instantaneously, because I already had those sound files, those changes come over very, very quickly. All right, so in order to do my job, I'm going to leverage a tool called a control surface. This is called the Pro Tools Dock, and it's an integrated Yukon control surface with Pro Tools. So it's got a jog wheel, buttons, switches, and it integrates a touchscreen iPad. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the jog wheel, and I'm going to scrub picture here. So frame by frame, I'm going to try to find where LeBron James' shoulder kind of dips, and then I'm going to paste in a boom. So we sort of have these booms for each large footstep of our giant, our hero. Boom. So there's another one, and more. Now, I can do this and keep working on this, but before I get too far, I think I want to send Jeff over my ideas. Also, I really like the trick that he showed you with the elastic properties. The idea that we don't want them all to sound the same, so instead of using a stretch mode, I'm just going to use a pitch shift mode. I'm going to change a few of these to be different pitches so they don't all sound the same, slightly differently. And then finally, I'm going to bring out one boom sound for this, an additional boom. As I said, I want to share these right away. Before I finish them, I just want to make sure Jeff is okay with what I'm doing. So by clicking on that blue share button, you'll see my name is taking control of these tracks, and those tracks are now starting to upload to the cloud. And on Jeff's side, they're already starting to download in the background. It doesn't stop what he's doing. He can keep working until they're finished downloading.
Yeah, so this is all these transactions are visible in the task manager. So any of the clips that are being pushed up to the cloud, as well as things that are coming down. Now, this is not just clips, right? This is plugin settings, it's automation, it's track colors, it's playlists, it's all individual automation of every plugin that exists in Pro Tools that you can specifically send to the people that you're working with. So it's very powerful. Now in Pro Tools, there's tons of indications that there's things that are happening. So if we take a look at the toolbar once again, you can see that a new button is lit up, which is basically, there are changes, but actually these are new tracks. And if you click on this, you're going to add new things, in this case, Tom's work, to our project. So awesome. Let's actually go and click that button and see what Tom has been working on for us. So we'll take a quick listen here. Okay, so that sounds great. Now there's an interesting thing that happens in Pro Tools 12.5. If you send somebody a track that contains plugins that they don't have installed, it'll actually pop up a dialog and say, hey, guess what? I saw that you had impact on this track, but you don't have it installed on your rig. Do you want to go to the marketplace and I can actually let you rent it 7 days, 30 days, or actually buy it outright? And then what happens ultimately is Pro Tools will, in the background, continue the transaction, scan the plugins, and instantiate it without even having to quit Pro Tools. So it's a really cool workflow, and basically what you end up with is exactly the settings that that person sent you, which is what you want, right? So I love what Tom has done. I guess my only criticism would be there's a lot of low end. So maybe, roll off a little bit of low end, but totally on the right track.
Okay, and I kind of heard there's a few ticks and pops there too as it cuts. So let's do the fixes that Jeff has asked us for. I finished cutting in the other booms. I also cut in some flash bulbs at the end there. So what I want to do quickly is really smooth out these with some fast crossfades. So with the new batch fades feature in Pro Tools 12, I'm able to choose a custom in, out, and crossfade time separately in a different shape for each one, and I just hit OK, and that fast, all those files are now smoothed out with really, really nice fades. The other thing Jeff asked me for was kind of tweak the plugin and roll off some of that. So we're going to go ahead and use the control surface here to quickly roll off that low end so that it's not stepping on anything else, so to speak. We're going to go ahead and upload those changes to Jeff. And again, this should be pretty quick because there's no new audio files being transferred, just the metadata of the plugin changes and the crossfades.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll go back and take a look at our task manager quickly and see what's going on in there. And so here's the interesting thing. Instead of just saying, give me everything that changed that's new, or send everything that's changed, you can actually be very specific about what you're sending and receiving from people. So if you take a look at these two tracks that Tom has just operated on, you're actually going to see you have individual track receives. So I'm going to say, just show me what changed on TG01, right? I can click on that. Boom, I can see actually, let me move this out of the way so you can see that better. There's an additional supplemental move down the time stream, right? So, okay, that's cool. Let's click on the second TG2 track here. EQ change, right? We rolled off the low frequency. He added some additional elements. You can see how the crossfades appear to deal with the pops and clicks that he was talking about. So that is very, very cool, and it's great to be able to individually choose what pieces you want to receive and how you want to keep kind of moving forward with regard to those pieces. So awesome. So we've got plugin changes. We've got some more activity going on in the task manager. It looks like Gil is actually sending us some elements. So there's another indication right up here that that's taking place. Check it out. He's trying to speak with us on the artist chat. So I'm going to simply click on that. Gil says, hey, the music stems are done, ready to download. Awesome. So I'm going to thank him, and we're going to go check those out and see what Gil has been hard at work on. So once again, receive changes, right? New tracks in this case. Awesome. Now before we check these out, I want to show you this because this is really important and really powerful. Those tracks we just pulled down from Gil are right here, right? You're saying, well, those are not audio tracks. Those are, to use Pro Tools, those are aux inputs. So it's like, okay, well, did he send us his reverb returns? No, this is actually a new feature in Pro Tools 12.5 where he's got tons of virtual instruments that he's working through and then sending those to strings, pads, percussion bus, right? All he's got to do is take all of his master auxes, right-click and say Share as Frozen. That sends me frozen tracks for stems that I can work through. He's still listening to these same auxes back on his rig, so it's a really, really powerful workflow to work with other people. So let's just take a quick listen to what Gil has done for us here. Okay, so I put some sound effects that I've been working on while they were working as well in there for the impact. Now my only concern here is that it starts to really kind of step on the impact. So the percussion is right here. Listen to this again. Percussion keeps going, right? It kind of distracts you from the really intense, satisfying impact. So you know what, let's tweak this really quick here. We're going to use another feature in Pro Tools we call commit, and this is very powerful. Basically, I can right-click on this track and say, essentially, I want to render just this little clip. Turn it into a new clip, a new track, hide the source, and I can actually just do a quick little edit on this in a very short period of time, watching picture to make sure this happens before it doesn't step on that impact, which is also important in the actual piece. So let's just take another quick listen to this really quick here. Okay, so that's better. So now here is the next issue we want to address. We've been doing all the sound effects, pushing them in 5.1. Gil's given us some really cool music, but it's stereo. We don't have a lot of time left, but we want to put that stereo in the 5.1 space and do it musically, creatively, right? We're going to leverage some of our connectivity partner plugins to do that. And this is a plugin from Nugent Audio, which is really powerful, called Halo Upmix. So what we've done is we've strapped that across our music bus, and it allows us to then push stereo source, in this particular case the music, into the 5.1 space. And I can even be concerned about, hey, am I going to the center channel or not? How am I hitting the LFE? Incredibly powerful. You're actually going to see the energy distribution here in a second throughout the 5.1 space. So let's just take a quick listen to this. And let's actually, you know what, let's just solo up the music. I'd like to just hear that for a second, so we can hear the 5.1 of that. Cool. Okay, so now I think what we need to do is actually bring everything together. All those design elements, the footsteps, the ambience, the music, and ultimately provide our final mix.
Sure. Now, again, we're pressed for time. Jeff could probably mix it with the trackball or mouse, but you've got a beautiful Pro Tools S3 control surface you're seeing from the overhead camera. So it's 16 touch-sensitive automated faders, plus he's got 32 rotary encoders that can control everything from sends, plugins, you name it, and it's all fully automated. So Jeff, why don't you take a final run at a mix there?
Okay, here we go. So using the power of AVID Cloud Collaboration, we're able to designate different tasks, right, between all of our different operators and really work more efficiently. So we just held our 4th annual Connect event for the AVID Customer Association here in Vegas this past weekend. Mark your calendars for AVID Connect before NAB Las Vegas next year as well. If you want to get more detail on these great solutions we've been talking about, including our connectivity partners, please visit our folks around the booth. You can also learn how to gain the AVID Advantage to increase the speed, flexibility, and ROI of your AVID media production solutions with our AVID Global Services offerings right over here, so check that out. And lastly, sure, if you like what you saw today and you want to share it, and you also want a chance to win a 1-year subscription to Pro Tools 12 and or Media Composer, use the hashtag NAB Show and @AVID on Twitter, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks, and have a great show.